Alrighty, we are now broadcasting. I'm gonna double check on YouTube, make sure everything's working well on my end. I never know how to start these streams, you know that, guys? I always feel like, I don't know, like, what do I do? Like, it's weird because whenever I go live, I'm like, I just kind of, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to it. Like, I don't know when people start watching and stuff. So, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Like, I don't know. And I gotta say, I know you guys have said that my mic sounds a little off. Like, it sounds a little muffled or something, but I think I like the mic how it is these days. Anyway, today, I have just finished hard mode in EDF 6. It only took me 50 hours, sheesh. So we're going to be playing this a little bit, because as much as I love Elden Ring, I can't play that all the time, you know? And honestly, for those of you who don't know, I would like to actually expand my content to more than just Elden Ring anyway. Let's get into it though. This game was a lot of fun. I'm actually going to turn on subtitles. I had them off because I was hearing the same dialogue over and over again. Didn't need it anyway. If you haven't ever played this game, it is an absolute blast, to say the least. Ooh, actually, I forgot to share that I'm going live. But yeah, we are going to stream today, and I don't know the next time I'll stream, but I would like to actually stream more than I have been. Just because, well, I stream very rarely. I don't know. I would like to eventually get a schedule, but it depends on how busy I stay, you know? If you don't know about this game, I feel like most people have, I don't know if most is the right term, but a lot of people have heard of it, but maybe not everybody's tried it. Basically, it's a horde fighter, right? And you just kill lots of bugs, and there's a wonderful story that goes with it. We are right at the start of the game on hardest. It is... So, this is a direct continuation of EDF 5 for the story. So if you haven't played that one, you're missing out a little bit. You're going to be a little confused, but basically this takes place 3 years later, and humanity kind of crumbled with the aliens having come by, and even though we killed their leader, things didn't really recover after that point. I am playing on console, and not only that, I'm playing on controller, obviously. Which means, at some point, you will notice I have really, really bad aim. When it comes to the equipment that you have in this game, it's level-based, and basically every monsters have a chance to drop chests that increase your health, your max health, drop weapons, or heal you for the current mission. But I've gone ahead and I've gotten a couple of really high power weapons just from the end game, from completing things on Inferno. Just haven't I don't know. I'm just using those things right now just for these first few missions, because it's kind of, the beginning's a little slow once you return to it. So just blitzing through it kind of makes it a little better. But if you actually want to challenge, this is obviously not the way to do it. There's obviously environmental destruction with explosives and stuff. It is wonderful. Actually, I've noticed that in this game more than any other, when you destroy things, it's sometimes a mess and you can't see anything. It was a trap the whole time. So luckily this trap is not that bad, especially since we have tanks, effectively tanks, trucks with flamethrowers on their backs. I always thought that these trucks were funny. Basically in EDF, they had powered robot suits, or powered armored suits. They were massive, but it turns out it's a lot cheaper to just strap them on the back of a truck and drive them around. But yeah. I think this is, there's like 150 some odd missions. It took me 40 hours to complete this game overall already. Just on a mix of normal and hard difficulty. I went back, I did like the last 10 missions on normal because that game, the end of this game scales up really harshly, really fast compared to the rest. Yep. You'll notice that I have a ring around my character. I have an extra grab radius of 600%, which means anything that actually touches that ring is something that I'll collect. It's very handy. At first I thought it was just for like farming and stuff, but I've realized it's kind of handy for survival too. Just because it turns out being able to grab a health chest from 7 times the distance is really effective. There we go. Because otherwise, when you're walking around, otherwise you have to make direct contact with the box. Makes it actually rather hard to gather items efficiently. Ranger, which is who I'm playing as, has a sprint feature, which if you don't have 600% or extra grab radius, it'll just be a small circle around you. And then Wing Diver, Fencer both have better ways to pick up gear, and I guess Air Raider does too through vehicles, but basically every character has some form of method to more effectively grab gear, or grab items and stuff. As far as I know, well actually I know for sure, you do just play as the character from the end of EDF 5. Oh, something they added in this game is, if you're close to something that would normally be impossible to get past, like jump over or anything, you can just mantle now. It's pretty handy. It's not the most efficient, but it helps a little bit. We'll just shoot. There we go. It's pretty obvious that there's an aggro range before enemies really attack you. You can just shoot them and pull them over though. Yeah. Yeah. We're getting a little bit of, basically the story for the first 13 to 14 missions, I guess, is basically what happened to the world after EDF 5 ended. Basically what happened though is Earth's population got brought down to about 10% the size from before the war and could never effectively recover in any sense. A lot of it either, you know, like just in general, on top of that, the bugs, giant monsters still exist. So as much as we might have taken them out, like their leader, they still left effectively super invasive species, right? And then the planet just never recovered. Or humans never recovered. The planet kind of did recover in some senses. Oops. There's my bad aim for everybody.
A huge horde of flying monsters has been spotted! Their numbers suggest there may be a nest nearby!
Damn! This has gotten out of hand!
There you go. So this is a mission-based game. I actually rather like it that way. It makes it pretty easy to... It's a very jump in and play kind of game. Ooh, handy saber. So as you see though, this is what happens at the end of a mission. You pick up green boxes, give you weapons, red give you health. Each character gains a different amount of health depending on their armor value, like their base HP value. Defensor gains it the fastest, Ranger second fastest, tied with Air Raider, and then Wing Diver gains it the slowest. And then it'll go over anything. Weapons have stats they roll, and if it upgrades, it shows you what you got. And as far as I'm aware, weapons go up to level 100 in the base game, at least. We're gonna swap weapons a little bit, just so we're not constantly using the same thing. Anything in yellow means it's recommended as being too strong for the mission, funny enough. So like, even though the end of hard mode ends on like level 40 gear, it's a little too strong for the beginning of hardest. Wow, yeah, okay. Like in hard, it ends around... You even had access to the Destruction Blazer in hard. So like 15 levels lower. Sheesh. Why don't we go ahead and start limiting our power a little bit. Rocket launchers shoot non-homing things, non-lock-on based systems, and then missile launchers do lock-on based homing. I'll go with the firecracker, sure. I'm keeping my probe type the same just so that I have that extra grav range. Means I get a little more health.
Looks like we're hunting the skies today, team.
So right now my goal is to just kind of gain armor as we play through this. And then I would like to, at some point, start a series on my actual YouTube channel with videos where I'm going through every mission one at a time and beating it on Inferno. I think that'd be a fun one. I've never actually completed any of the EDF games on Inferno. I've done like 30% of missions in 5, but it gets really tough. And I never want to farm armor. So I end up losing interest at some point usually. This is a fork. It locks on really fast and does a lot of small, but still powerful missiles to one target. Is the idea behind it. Slaughter is your standard shotgun. Incredibly powerful in this game. Like, we could lock onto this. I don't know where those went. Am I crazy? There we go, that's what they're supposed to do. But Slaughter's just better, anyway. Shotguns for Rangers specifically, and some of them for Fencer and stuff, when up close, or up to, like, actually, a pretty far distance, at least half the range, I think, for most of them, they pierce targets. Which means you get way more DPS than the listed value, typically. Missiles and stuff like this, they can lock on through objects, which would be nice if they didn't fly straight to the object and then not even break on the not even break the object that it's shooting through, attempting to shoot through. It's kind of funny. I'm typically not a very big fan of missile launchers, but I'm trying it out this time. My issue with them is typically this, right? You get one target, whereas like most other guns per shot are gonna get way more targets than that. And there are some high range or high explosion radius ones, but they're typically... Whoa. Typically not very good because they take forever to lock on again, or like... They're just kind of slow, is the issue. Like, the shotgun does more damage at this range. I guess one of the benefits is how close you don't have to be. Like, you can be really far away. So if you want to go for, I guess, a more defensive, long-range strat, you use things like the fork. Yeah, you get almost the same damage as, like, for the shotgun, but you don't have to be point blank to get it. Okay. I'm not a big fan, but it's handy. It's a little overkill on just the bugs themselves, at least in this mission. There are kaijus later, and some of those you could probably justify it for. Because some of those move very fast, very far, and a lot. Like from this range you'd get 400, but with this you'd get 1500, right? So, that's kind of the point, I guess. Just don't ask me what the air tortoise is for. There we go. I actually really like what they did with a lot of these maps. Yo, it's him! Ammo economy? It's just no issue at all with that. I do find it funny. This thing shoots like 20 missiles at a time, but they still bring up issues of like there's fuel shortages and stuff. Obviously has no impact on your weapons. The only time that does, although I guess you know this already, seeing as it's you, Air Raider can't use his call-in stuff at this point. These don't destroy buildings either. You know, that's the other issue though, is that the shotgun still just shoots faster than the other thing reloads. So again, like, what's the point of it? The other thing, I haven't even really used my firecrackers much. They do really good damage, though. Should probably turn around and deal with some of these, huh? You know, I love the dialogue in these games. I think I rant about it a little more than most. But it really is part of the thing that got me first interested in EDF. That's what actually pulled me in and got me playing it. It was not the gameplay, though the gameplay is wonderful. There we go, that should be a good one. Yeah. Cool. Nice. You know what? This situation seems really bad. Okay, we actually got it. You know what's weird? Of all the monsters that I typically have trouble with in the late game, it's these guys, just the normal flyers. Usually when they're introduced in missions, they're really, really good at actually swarming, I guess, pun intended. Well, that's a horrible noise. Right before I started the stream, I closed out the game because there's a very good chance that when we encounter androids, that their audio is going to be messed up, and if it is, it will be deafening. Not bad though. Let's see, Fang. Oh, okay, yeah. This is the first mission with red ants, so I am definitely not going to use one of those. Timed grenade launcher, that would be fun. I'm always so indecisive. I'm going to bring this just because it's a fun weapon and I want to check it out, even though it might be overrated. It is a split shotgun. Or it's an energy shotgun, I should say, that just shoots in a straight line across like that. It's not so straight, huh? A really long reload, but I think it pierces like 4 range-wise. And is pretty fun to use on flat maps like this. They don't spit acid. Typically, in general, I'm finding myself leaning towards any weapon that pierces. Like, there's a whole line of assault rifles that they have above average damage and piercing. You're just trading accuracy. But I feel like the DPS that you get off of the piercing is just so much higher than the accuracy loss. DPS loss. Our work isn't over. Oh, you can gesture in this game, by the way, if you're a fan of... Check this out. Formation 4 is literally... I know it's not actually Praise the Sun. It's kind of funny, it looks like that. Seriously. Yeah, so the red ants are all about, they're basically the grapplers of this universe, huh? They have a command grab, they charge you and then pick you up, and you just have to shoot yourself out of their mouth. It's not that big a deal on anything below late game hardest, I think. Basically they hit you once and then they'll slam you into the ground a couple times, depending on how slow you are, but on Inferno and endgame hardest, they end up attacking really fast. When they have you in their jaws, which means you can get like stun locked for multiple hundred damage really quickly. Let's see if those actually hit the ground. Alright, well they did, but we didn't hit anything. I should probably throw it at a 45-degree angle. There we go. Or just get closer. There we go. Look at that. But, ooh, I had somewhere I was gonna go, but I don't remember anymore. Never mind. I wasn't really planning on it, dude. Whoop. Again, I'm not really in any danger in any of these first missions. Probably on this or Inferno. The only way I'm most likely to die is probably just I do something stupid and kill my own character. Like throwing firecrackers point blank into a red ant's mouth. Which you can do. I just highly recommend against it. You know, this pit right here, I think they use it for 2 maps. For 2 missions in the entire game. It's 2 or 3. It's weird how little they use it when it's just like a perfectly fine map. last one's all the way up the hill. Are you kidding me, dude? Oh, right. So the other option that you have, if you're not going for like grab range, oh, thank goodness. If you're not going for grab range, you do have the option of like higher walk speed, which is definitely not something to be looked down on, or not something to look down on. All right.
We've got multiple monsters.
This is kind of the game plan for the entire game, though. Just basically fight bugs and aliens, and in shifts or in waves like this. It's usually 2 to 4 waves per mission. Some of the late game ones get up to like 5 or 6.
Did we really survive that horrific war just to perish here?
Maybe we did. Alright, you can do callouts in typical or in general using your D-pad. Or not your D-pad, your touchpad that the PlayStation has. That's not letting me shoot. Hello? There we go. I think the assault rifle is just like leagues better here, by the way. Because it also pierces. There we go. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the damage numbers are wonderful in this game. You can change it to not just be per enemy or by your gun. You can set it per enemy or otherwise. No matter how you have it set, it's actually pretty good looking, I think. And this is kind of where grab radius can help a lot, by the way, is when you're in melee range of these things and they grab you, they drag you across the map, and then all of a sudden they fling you and you grab 10 boxes on your way across the landing, healing back to full. I find that kind of thing super handy. There's one enemy all the way over there, huh? I have no guns with enough range. No. Okay, he's coming over. You know, he's confident he still got this. He might, honestly. Yeah, so those guys have like 1200 health, maybe. That's really not bad. Somebody said that he sounds like Rick from Rick and Morty, and now I can't unhear it. I don't remember who it was that said that. But it is now stuck in my mind. It changes when you hit day 10, the music does. I kind of want to show off different weapons is why I'm doing this. Swapping every time. Because we don't really need to be too worried about our gear. We should probably worry a little bit, but this would probably still work fine. The reason why it matters, the weapon level and stuff, before you're doing a mission, or like when you're doing a mission, the restrictions, is in online mode. If it's a yellow gun, like if it's a yellow number, you can't use it in online. Let's try this.
This is our planet. No space for aliens. Humanity will win. I'm gonna make the aliens.
Alright. I mean, like, the damage on the triple shot is really good. It's just a matter of typically not liking time grenades. Though I don't think they're necessarily bad. I think they're especially good when you actually have waves of monsters instead of single target enemies like this. By the way, if anybody is actually watching, is the stream loud enough? Like, is the game loud enough? Oh, I'm not a good shot. This is why I shouldn't use explosives, by the way. This is why I rarely do use explosives at that. I think he was just hiding. Did you see that?
Humanity and the aliens are both worn out. We shouldn't be fighting anymore.
We're recovering at a snail's pace.
My grandchildren's grandchildren will live in a world the way you used to.
I wonder if that's how long it would take to fix society after something like this. I guess 4 generations? What is that? 100 years, maybe? I don't really know what a generation's definition really is. That could be about it, though. I could see it. One of those explosions is very close. The triple shot would also be nice. This seems like possibly one of the worst missions I could have chosen for the loadout that I did. I was assuming there would be monsters, not just invaders. Okay. So basically I brought like big group damage even though there's like no groups of enemies. It was not very bright of me. Trying to get in here, seeing if there's any help. There is, a little bit. There's 2 sizes of health kits. Small and large, obviously. The radar's acting up. I wonder what that could be. Time grenades do have the advantage of if something's behind cover, you can only shoot around cover with it. And the game mentions that, but like, if you're shooting around cover with an explosive, there's a good chance you're just gonna destroy the explosive, or destroy the cover as well. Nice. What is that thing? I gotta tell you the story for this game, like the ending of this, the finale, holy cow. It was wild. I say in the most bored sounding voice ever. I swear I'm not bored, I'm actually having a great time.
It's them! They're back! Another war's gonna happen! I've had enough of this! Enough! What's humanity supposed to do now? We're cut for!
We're done for. By the way, when it zooms in like this, that just means that I actually have a scope on the weapon. You don't actually downscope ADS in this game. It just lowers your FOV, but zooms you in on the target.
Then what's it doing? Aliens are approaching!
Oh, so what is that thing doing?
So they're trying to reach that huge flying object? Well, we won't let them. This is my duty. I will.
You know, I keep thinking this thing has only 3 shots to it.
This area's off limits. Get out.
Get out. Don't think I will. Well, that would have hit him if I hadn't blasted his arm off prior. Apparently I'm just hitting him in his armor. There we go, sheesh. That was better. Hmm. There we go. By the way, this firecracker, the issue is it's supposed to be hard to use because it's a scatter shot, but it ends up, its maximum damage, well, depending on how many overlapping targets, but on one target is 7,500, which is so high compared to like anything else by this point. And like the downside, I guess, is that it's really small burst radius, so you're almost never guaranteed to hit one enemy with all of it. But later on, there are some enemies, like back when you get this in hard mode, which is when I got it, the enemies that you're hitting with it are gonna be shaped like that, where like you can just kind of throw it, and it'll hit most of an enemy, killing them almost instantly. Like that, you know? It's incredibly strong, honestly.
Don't let them near it, but it's so huge.
This area's off limits.
There we go. There's a red line on the map. That means that is actually the border of the map.
The intruders must be dealt with. Don't let the intruders near the flying object. Lock down the area.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. No, I found it kind of odd. I guess maybe I'm not very good at streaming at this point. I'm probably not, really. I don't do it very often, and I don't have a regular schedule. But I find that, like, it's very rare for me to get more than a couple views on a stream. Which I find kind of interesting. Seeing as, like, streams are typically the more popular things these days. As far as I'm aware, they are. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just crazy. But I'm pretty sure they are, right? Like, it's probably because I don't have a regular schedule for streaming, so YouTube probably doesn't recommend me often, I think is what happens. Oh, that guy's dead. Poor frog. There we go. Ooh. Okay, well, as this level went on, this loadout worked a little better. After I started using the firecrackers, pretty much, really. Turns out they're just really good. I love the new kind of bullets that these enemies have. In EDF 5, where these enemies originated, they only had, like, plasma weapons and stuff. Whereas these guys now are using, like, shrapnel and parts of buildings, I think, effectively. And they're just kind of catapulting bits of rubble at you at high speed and high heat. Which I think is a very cool innovation.
So they're trying to start something after all.
And by the way, the huge spaceship. There we go. Whoa, what's happening there, dude? Looks like they're being taken into the... Who knows what that is? So the wording on this, I think it's a bit of a poor translation or something, but that dialogue there of the ship disappeared, I think it means the other ships, right? Like the smaller ones that got taken into the whatever that is. But it always sounds like they're talking about that ship. It just disappears or something. I don't think that's what they mean.
There's nothing we can do besides pray.
Nothing we can do besides pray.
What's the alternative?
Nice. Yeah, you kind of could rocket jump. The Goliath. Nice. Kind of hate the Goliath in this game. Its reload time is so long that it makes it kind of difficult to use. And it's not really... I don't use it properly is what it is. I think the big idea with it is when you're not shooting, you're letting this thing reload. So you're swapping to it to let it reload. What to show off? I think at some point we need to get a sniper rifle in here just for simplicity's sake, honestly. Is this one with bad accuracy? It's the only part of it that's bad, honestly. We'll go slightly above level then. And since we have a sniper rifle, how many targets? 6 targets? Sure, we'll take this. The next day.
It's our usual opponents. Let's go.
Alright.
Eliminate the invaders. Prepare to die.
This is the end.
What the heck? What is that, dude?
Think we'll allow an invasion? You're about to find out what makes us human.
Alright, this weapon's actually pretty fun. I do rather like this one a lot.
By the invaders' attacks. Not the civilians.
I wonder if that could pose an issue. So those guys have... These are androids is what they are, but they have hands that have hurt boxes when they're flying at you. I've never thought about it, but what happens if, like, their hand runs into you while you're prepping a shot? Would that just blow you up? It very well might.
Don't be intimidated. Stop those invading robots. Damn you invaders. I'll tear you apart.
Alright, I should not have brought a sniper rifle.
The androids have got us far outnumbered.
Oh, I shouldn't have brought this sniper rifle especially. Holy cow, dude.
We're the intruders now. Earth already belongs to them.
Oh, interesting.
Down to the last man.
Alright, so if you lock on... Okay, I see. If you don't lock on with all 6, then you still reload after you shoot one. Alrighty. This thing doesn't seem super accurate. Or maybe it's just because these things are too close, is more so what it is. I bet that's what it is, honestly. Yeah. Although it doesn't kill in one shot, huh? Doesn't kill in 2? Sheesh. At least hit, thank you. That was kind of cool. He's still not dead? Oh my goodness. How weak is this thing, dude?
Thanks to you. There's gotta be more of them. I'll turn them all to scrap metal.
Hey, you can see a very thin red box. That's your lock-on box.
Turn back.
These things have a maximum lock-on range. It's about that far,
Let them
apparently.
remember that the EDF fought until the very end.
Please, go back. We've lost.
There we go.
Don't be so defeatist. I'll show you how to put up a good
I should use missile launchers more. I rarely ever use them
EDF was destroyed
in a
3
normal
years ago
playthrough.
from the blasts of 10
The issue
Martians.
with the lock-on is you don't really decide the target. It's whatever's closest currently to you that you can lock on to, which can start causing issues. Right? Like, because you don't always, you're not necessarily actively targeting the things close to you. You're usually shooting in a general area, or at least with how I play. I guess I could just be like playing wrong compared to how you should to use missile launchers. I just think they look so cool when you shoot them, but I can't stand using them. Well, also, this thing doesn't stop shooting until you blow up or until you shoot all targets that you've locked onto. And I mention that because if you say you shoot this and then you roll, it'll just blow you up. It keeps trying to fire. See. I probably shouldn't just kill myself though. That would be a terrible idea. I think the way that wing divers do it is a little bit better. They have a missile launcher style weapon, usually called like a Ghost or something, or Banshee. And the way that they lock on is prior to shooting, and then you just kind of unload until the thing dies, but it locks on automatically, and then you just keep shooting. Wing Diver just works a little different though.
I'll never forget it.
The direction of the door changed that day in the worst way possible.
There we go. So assuming that's the end of the mission then? I think? Nope. One more. Can't do that. That was incredibly loud. So these are the guys, I guess it's not this version, or maybe it's because these guys started out aggro. There's a version of these guys that when they aggro you, they make a noise, and that noise sometimes is bugged and just goes at 100% volume no matter what your volume settings are at, including muted. Which gets really off. Okay, so they can just do that. Okay. Please don't melee me while I'm... Okay, so you can even throw your grenade at the same time. Okay. I might die here just from the fact that I'm using the missile launcher.
Please, flee the area, Captain.
I'll turn them into scrap metal. That's my job.
3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're 12.
It's going around sucking the life out of us. That's exactly what it's doing. What's the point in
The issue with fleeing like this is that I'm not actually picking up any health. We are slowly chipping away at it though, just not in the most efficient way possible. Because if I just had like a piercing assault rifle, this would probably be over by now, honestly. As you can see, these enemies aren't all that dangerous though. This one especially, like this android type especially, is not that dangerous. As soon as I'm the last guy here, though, I might have a lot more trouble with this. We should throw our grenade at that guy. We're a little too far away to get maximum damage out of it, great. There we go. I feel like everything is injured, but nothing's dying. That's kind of my issue with this weapon type. Although I gotta say, the sound effects are very pleasing on it. Very satisfying. Ooh, don't blow myself up. It looks like we're gonna win this at least. I could probably pull out the sniper rifle at this point. Pretty safely. Oh, I started rolling without even thinking there. And then you could leave one enemy alive if you want. He's gonna kill it, but then you could go pick up your items that have dropped this whole time. Typically, I hate doing this though. I just try to kill him and then not get everything. Which is probably why I need more health and stuff for Inferno.
There's no saying whether you'll eat again tomorrow.
I'm gonna try a different missile launcher. There might be one that's a little less... I don't know. Air Tortoise doesn't work because it shoots so slow. So let's see what we have, right? Because the fork is not the right thing. MLRA. Maximum of 30 enemies to lock onto. Do I have an MLRA up here? I do. Shots are fired to the left and right before... Okay, so let's try this thing even though it's over-leveled. Oh, also, we're taking off the sniper rifle. I can't stand this thing. We're just gonna put on... the slugger. It's good.
Our job's the same as always. Take out those machine men.
See, that's cool.
Makes a difference.
Androids, don't pretend like you belong here. They want to kill every last human, but we won't let them.
Ooh, it's paired shots, and each paired shot actually counts as one bullet. It's actually 36 missiles. Okay. Ooh. There's also, I don't know if I have it or not, but there's, at least in 5, there was a boost, kind of like my probe armor. It gives me extra range. There's one that lets you lock onto the same target multiple times with one attack, with one lock on thing. Which is still kind of worthless, I think, because then you're just, it forces you to target one thing with that weapon. I don't know. I think it's hard to strike a balance with these things. Like, we're just chipping away at everything, which I think is nice, but I think it's more for, like, the defensive play in multiplayer. Right? You chip away at everything, weakening everything while your teammates wrap up. Finish things off. Maybe that's what I'm missing, because I only play solo. Pretty much.
All we can do now is destroy those things as long as we still have life in us.
Not just here either. Simultaneous attacks by 10 motherships around the world. They ended everything. Blast killed everyone, except a few survivors.
There they are. This thing has a really low lock-on range, apparently.
Whether you die today or die tomorrow, that's the only difference.
Yeah.
I'm done with hoping and wishing. I'm gonna make them pay.
My life means nothing if no one else survives. Let's do this.
Ooh, maybe. Maybe. I think I'm losing lock-ons and getting them back. I'm just gonna fire. Okay, looks like I fixed the bug for the sound effect. Which, be thankful for. It was very funny to me for like the first 20 seconds of it. And then there are some missions where like everything's constantly aggroing you. Because whenever like these guys are teleported in or spawn, it also makes that noise. Because they're newly created enemies, they haven't aggroed to you until they spawn in. Obviously, just kind of required to have an aggro range just to be here. And that gets kind of miserable. Or these enemies are actually ever going to be super dangerous. I have a feeling that once you hit late game hardest, they might be. The issue is typically they are kind of just slow and goofy. And their attacks don't do enough damage, but I have a feeling that when their fists move a little faster, they might actually be a threat. That guy is moving out. Huh? I can't lock on from here. Oh well.
Can't stop feeling tired. I need more vitamins.
Sure, we'll take it. Oh, we did it. We hit one of them.
We could be attacked at any moment. Be ready.
See, I guess the other point is, like, you could be weakening the crowd before they make it to you, but, like, most crowds have at least 1 or 2 ranged attacks. These guys are no different. I mean, I guess their ranged attacks, again, aren't that dangerous, so you can pick them off a little bit before they actually reach you. I guess that's true.
Androids have invaded the city!
So I'm wanting to do a stream at some point in Elden Ring, actually. That I think could be fun if I could actually get viewers to join in on it. Or have you guys deciding my stats as I play through the game. I feel like that could be terrible, but also fun depending on what you guys do. This is another option, by the way. You can fire from behind cover, but better in theory than in practice, you know. Not to say it's bad by any means, the enemy literally can't hit you here, but this is a very simplified game state right now, you know. compared to like once you get later into the game and like you actually have to worry about different enemy types and stuff. Then this kind of strategy doesn't work nearly as well. In a general sense, at least, and I typically go for a very general solution. But that's just kind of how I play in like every game. I find a very general solution that works for everything and deviate very little from it usually, just because it tends to be efficient, being good at in general, you know. Turns out that's not a bad thing at all. Although I do kind of like poking at them from behind the building. That's been kind of nice. Also, one thing I haven't mentioned about missile launchers is, honestly, they all reload super fast. Minus, like, the air tortoise. Ooh, actually, I should check this out, by the way. What about, like, per target? There we go. This is a little interesting, I think, right? Because it'll kind of mark right where the enemy is. If for some reason you couldn't find them, even though you have a radar, and most things are in a wide open space. I think that looks kind of cool. I also just like the wait, is it per target damage numbers? I like per hit, usually, if I'm not using the on HUD. That one's pretty good. Let's see if I even... Yeah, so per target's that. Hit position ends up being each missile puts up its own hitbox, or hit number. Which I think can end up looking really satisfying with the proper setup. Firecrackers are a good example of that. Clustered hits, lots of fast hits, or really big single hits are all really good with that. We'll keep it at that for now, it's a little less HUD. You'll notice that I typically will roll instead of sprinting, by the way. That's just a bad habit that comes from 4. EDF 4.1. Which I guess that game is really old now, but it was... You didn't have a sprint in 4.1, so rolling was what you did to traverse as Ranger. And apparently I never broke that habit in my hundreds of hours of playing EDF 5. There was one other thing I wanted to check if I could even remember. I sure can't, I'll tell you. Oh well. Oh, this is how you change your chat shortcuts. Those are the touchpad ones. Interesting. I don't really care though. What comes next? The colossal machine. Okay, so this is bigger enemies? Ooh. Okay. We got 1 rate of fire. 1200 damage. What if we actually take the air tortoise and try it? Alright. Hear me out. I'll try to show it off effectively.
Giant android sighted.
Not those things.
Oh, it always feels like it's gonna hit the ground to me, and I always worry it will.
No choice.
This is basically what the air tortoise does, right? If it flew faster, I think it would actually be good. Is the issue, right? And I think it still has its uses, but like, look at how slow that is.
They're here! They're here!
But it also has really good homing capabilities. I wish it flew a little longer. Also, the radius is massive, so you have a good chance of blowing yourself up if you're anywhere close to the enemy. Granted, I don't know why you would be.
Giant androids. Quite the achievement.
Help the new recruits.
Oh, that's another thing. It has a kickback animation when you fire it, but that's completely optional if you just swap your weapon. And it's kind of important being willing to do that. Whoops. Well, I messed it up. But like, if you actually do it properly,
Encounter China.
If I could actually do it. Wow.
I'm coming. Hang in there.
There you go. That way you don't ever have to stop moving. I don't know what this one's gonna do after I kill the target that it's homing it on.
Newbies don't know the fear yet, but as long as they can shoot, that's all that matters.
And then it also starts your reload timing faster, which is very handy, it turns out. Is it only the massive robots? It looks like it is. Okay, actually, it's working on specifically this mission. This guy's too close. No, little kitty cat, you're okay. You're fine.
Hurry! Rescue your fellow soldiers!
Oh, don't hit that rock. Oh my goodness, I almost murked myself with that one, guys. I was not paying attention to how close I was to that obstacle. If you shoot this thing, it will kill you. It does 14,000 damage almost. And you take 75% of damage on hardest.
Humanity doesn't stand a chance.
You save so much time by swapping. Wow, okay. But there is actually a lock-on range plus 150% and lock-on time plus 100% booster that I have. So it'd make this thing lock on in half the time and shoot 1.5 times the distance. Oh, poor kitty cat. She just tried to climb into a box, but it was positioned peculiarly and she fell. Oh, pitiful. Okay, I don't even want to lock onto that guy. There we go. I hate how low it hits to the ground before it actually takes off. It makes me think it's gonna blow itself up, dude. You gotta be careful on inclines with this thing. Which is also another reason to possibly use the quick reload method. Make sure you actually get away from it properly. Excuse me, everybody. I'm trying to shoot this one specifically. There we go. We'll lock on one more time. I'm actually rather enjoying the air tortoise. It was pretty good, I can't lie. Like, against specifically this kind of creature, or probably the Cyclops, it'd be very good there. Right? Because it's something that doesn't move very fast, and it needs a lot of damage to take down. So then, I guess what you're planning on doing is using the, hoping that the enemy is also surrounded with smaller adds, and then the blast radius would help take it down, or take down other things too. That's not nerve-wracking at all. Every single time. Well, that guy's dead at least. Did we get both of them? We got both of them, yeah, see? Okay. Okay, so maybe the air tortoise isn't worthless. I just find it really hard to use later on. Please do not run into that. Okay. But I think if I were to use the stuff to assist my lock-on, it would help. That's probably more so why I struggle with using it.
Let's try one more time. It's better than ending like this.
Wow, my cat is so upset, dude.
They haven't detected us. We will definitely succeed.
This was deeper water than I expected, too, really. I guess one thing nice about missiles like this, too, is that you can't hit yourself with them. Not very easily. Like, unless you are pointing it wrong, like if you're pointing it flat, it's actually just safe to shoot. Yeah, you see. After launch, the projectile will descend slightly, making it necessary to aim upward in order to avoid self-injury. It does have a 30-meter blast radius, and that's average. That's not even, like, high. That's exciting. Actually, why don't we try it, right? We have something here. Lock on speed plus 100%. Wait, really? Oh, okay. This was the one that lets you lock onto multiple enemies at once. No, we'll use this one then. Ooh, maybe we won't. You know, this is a very story-heavy mission. I'm swapping to a heavy weapon here for this one. I still want to use the tortoise, but I want to try out. That is a lot faster than it locks on there. Operation Ring Wrecker. We got this. These are Type 3 drones, which I kind of forgot were even here. They don't even introduce them in this mission yet. They introduce them at a completely different time. I'm curious if this missile will actually keep going until it reaches the target. Because it doesn't have a maximum range on the actual listed bullet time.
The others may not know, but the device is directly below the ring. Aim there.
Where is it going? Is it going to hit anything? Oh, it is targeting him. Okay. I just couldn't tell. Do it. Yeah. Wow. Oh, they even tell you the weak spot on these guys during this mission? Huh. That's fair, that would hurt. My notoriously bad aim for you. What is that, 5 for 5 misses? We're back. Dude, I never realized. Okay. This dialogue makes a lot more sense this time.
There's a glowing red device. Someone's heading toward the ring.
That's me. I'm heading toward the ring.
Hey, where you going?
What are you doing? Get back here!
They don't know what's under the ring. Of course they'd stop us.
Ah, he even mentions that we should know. Okay.
We're professionals at doing this by now. This is going to go well.
Interesting. Oh, don't blow myself up on those buildings. Thank you. I'll tell ya. For having amnesia, sorry, not deja vu. For having amnesia, my character's pretty confident, huh? Really taking this pep talk. That's the noise, by the way. That's the deafening noise. And I think it was adjusted properly here. Oh, maybe actually we could lock onto something over here. Oh, I'm getting out of there immediately. I regretted that as soon as I shot it. Alright, somewhere under this ring. Okay, yeah, you see there's a little lip here. That's where we're going. I accidentally completed this mission the first time I did it, honestly. Like, I knew I had to go to this. I knew I was having to go somewhere around here. But I found it by accident, I reached it, I succeeded in destroying it by accident. There we go. What's happening? Really? Is that thing just immune to damage? Ah, it was probably inside of something else's collision. There we go. The EDF 6 begins now. What? They don't really explain much at all at the start of this game, huh? And then it should go to... What? If you played EDF 5, you would recognize this, obviously. We are gonna take off missiles for now, though. Where's the... Yeah, this one. And then we'll put on an assault rifle again. I don't even need that. We'll just stay with the... not the stork first, the slugger. There we go. All right.
It suits you, comrade.
Thank you.
You look like you mean business.
I trust you have my back.
Hey, newbie. Does the army ration suit your palate?
So, if you didn't know, this is mission 13 from EDF 5.
Situation has only gotten worse.
That's because we put all our hopes on the Air Force.
How are the new types doing?
I'm gonna let this dialogue
They
play
were
out.
all destroyed.
Isn't there a way to shoot down the teleportation ships?
There's only one successful case so far, and that was with the use of tactical nuclear weapons.
I see.
But we can't take that approach. More than half of our military bases have already been destroyed. We've lost the capacity to launch a nuclear strike.
There's nothing we can do then.
I thought there was more dialogue than that. There we go.
They keep coming, one after the other. The fight will never end.
This is a war situation report. In order to stop the enemy from dropping monsters, EDF launched attacks against the large flying saucers and damaged them successfully. The war situation is getting better. In addition, EDF is developing a new type of aircraft, which will be able to destroy the enemy's shield. The development will be completed soon.
All right.
Now that the attacks by the new types failed, the only thing we can do is keep killing monsters.
In these 5 months, humanity has lost 30% of its population. We're facing the risk of societal collapse.
30%. That's still not too bad.
That's not too bad. That's pretty terrible, I gotta say.
We're gonna destroy the teleportation ships from the ground. Sergeant, is there a chance of winning? A hatch opens up when the monsters are being dropped. We can shoot right into the open hatch from the ground. Sergeant, good luck.
There you go. And then you just go ham.
On the verge of annihilation! Abandoning the base!
Look at that.
Escape isn't an option! Hide!
That's a lot of ants, though.
Outpost base 26 destroyed by saucer. I repeat, outpost base 26 destroyed by saucer.
Too dangerous.
Can't believe we're going under the transportation ships.
We've been fighting monsters for the past 5 months.
But yeah, so the whole idea is just shoot down teleportation ships, it turns out. It took them 5 months to figure that one out. But the whole plot of this is a time travel plot, basically, for this game. This is part of EDF 5. And it's kind of fun, because it basically means that, like, all of the EDF apparently take place in the same universe, funny enough. Which, it was basically every other EDF cycle. So every other EDF game basically reset the universe. Something like that. Almost every game or every other game. But based on this game now, it's all canon, which is kind of interesting, I think. But if you've ever heard of the movie or seen the movie Edge of Tomorrow, you might know it by the tagline, Live, Die, Repeat. That's kind of the basis of this.
The red light might be the teleportation device.
Attack the shining part
Come
when the
on.
hatch opens.
Attention everyone, this
This
is the
is
Chief
the
Commander.
Chief Commander.
The alien attack is still underway. The entire Earth has become a battlefield, and people everywhere are in harm's way. Our attack against the alien spaceship remains ineffective, and there is nothing we can do.
Well, I'll see if I can snipe it through this. So I'm using something called the Ibis guided rocket,
We can launch a
which means that where I'm actually pointing is where the missiles go.
keep exterminating the monsters and protecting our citizens.
Which makes it a little trickier to aim sometimes, depending on what you're aiming for. Really far away targets especially.
Defenseless citizens depending on us. We are not only on the front line, we are also the last line of defense.
Honestly, the story to EDF 5 and the dialogue was so well written, I thought. It was really a fun time. And just always enjoyable.
Impressive.
And it really made you feel like you were out there. Not really, but... you felt like part of the scene, you know?
Exterminate all monsters.
Not that you were just playing a game with things going on in the background. I thought, at least. Alright. I believe this is where the mission ends, actually, after you take out all 3 ships. This... the way that a lot of this plays out changes. It iterates on itself, which I really like. How they handled it, at least. But I think that's where this one ends.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I think that the brass knew something.
Bloodstorm was a cool one. I think that is... okay, yeah. That was in 5. It was used by Fencer to farm one, like, very specific mission. Hey, we are, like, 9% of the way done, 10% of the way done with Hardest. Wow. It is, it's a long journey. Oh, by the way, I counted. They have, like, 45 enemies in this game. The last game had, like, 10 to 15, I think. Maybe 20. They really upped the numbers in this game. And it's not just, like, more of the same enemy either. Just in slightly different forms. It's like actually like new enemies for a lot of them.
Time to show your courage. These are species alpha monsters. They're no match for us.
This was the first mission I completed on Inferno. I don't think it's the easiest mission on Inferno to complete early on, but it was just set waves, and if you go for the very first missions, you get rather low level gear. So I tried this one, still got rather low level gear.
This is a
So I
residential
changed
area.
what I was
If we
doing.
don't exterminate the monsters immediately, there will be casualties. Newbie, stay close.
Don't you love being called a newbie? I think this is when betas get introduced.
Underground. Seems like they dug holes and are hiding underground. Can't believe they're hiding down there.
Betas are spiders. I should maybe... You know, I hadn't thought about that. This is a game... most people probably aren't really affected by the creatures and stuff, but like, if you have arachnophobia and things, that might be a reason to not play this or watch this. It was something that I hadn't really considered until my wife ended up watching me play a little bit. I happened to be doing a mission that was like all spiders. And, to say the least, it definitely freaked her out. But until that point, it hadn't even really crossed my mind.
Prepare to shoot. Yes, sir.
Because I think everything's so cartoony.
Enemies detected. Really close.
There we go.
Well done, newbie. Okay, let's go. Exterminate all monsters. Monsters, exterminate them. Civilians are trying to escape.
Protect the reporting the elimination of a teleportation ship. Another teleportation ship down in New York, 2 in London.
You know, I'm curious what
Taking back
people,
the lead in this
if people
battle.
actually watch if they care about hearing the story or not. 'Cause personally, I would really care, but also I guess if you care about the story, if you're watching somebody, you should probably go experience it yourself anyway. Just like, if you're that wrapped up in the story, you're probably playing the game, so.
We thought about that too, but we should have some time before the enemy start Plan B. All we can do now is try to weaken their combat strength.
Then let's do it. We will win this battle as well.
Oh, those hit at like the same time. That was weird. So another game I was thinking of playing and possibly streaming, and one that I'm a little more well-versed in and probably commentating over, would be Monster Train. It ended up just coming out for PS5, kind of abruptly. But that would be a game that I would love to cover.
Incredible! Are you really a newbie?
There's a few monsters remaining.
He's talking about that massive thing, right?
We wiped out most of the
You know, there is
monsters.
no mothership on this mission, which I find kind of funny.
So, if we destroy that thing, the aliens will be doomed.
And I don't think there is an EDF 5 either, honestly. Hey, by the way, that's what the guided missile or guided rocket means. It's pretty cool.
Furthermore, we've identified a total of 10 motherships. They are scattered around the world and are continuously launching pylons. We must take down all 10 of them.
Man, 30 missiles or rockets feels like a lot.
I don't think the Air Force is capable of taking down 10 of them.
I think I'm gonna do one more mission after this, I guess. I don't know, I wasn't planning on streaming for too long tonight, but I kind of wanted to try out streaming again because it had been so long.
Did the monsters dig an underground tunnel?
Did they dig a tunnel? I'm gonna swap to a completely different mission though, probably. Whee. I don't know, red ants typically aren't. Like, when they're red ants alone, they're just not that intimidating, right? Ooh, I could have blown myself up though.
It silently hovers over a city.
It must be onto something.
We think this is a good opportunity. We're planning an operation to attack the mothership. Air raid has already failed, but if we approach the mothership from the ground, it is possible to do some damage.
There we go. See, I guess that's kind of the idea with the Ibis, is if you miss something, you could always reroute it to something else. But also, I'm really bad at using this and end up pointing at the ground half the time.
Looks like I was saved by the newbie.
You're amazing. Do you want to join our team officially?
You know, I don't know how that would work. I don't think you're allowed to join the Wing Divers if you're a guy. I missed something from my wife. Oh. Let's get this off and we'll, I'm gonna go show the mission that you can beat on Inferno, I think, and then I'll probably stop playing there. Yeah, we'll bring this one. Let's see I'm gonna go do that mission once, though. You want one of these two guns. The first time I beat it, I had a Slugger level 47 and That was the only gun I used during the mission, honestly. We'll just put on the Orchid. And the Magma Cannon, these two are really strong. And then for the backpack, because I didn't have this one, I had the CA5 Special Bomb, but you could have had this by then, I just hadn't found it. You can, I'll show you what it's used for. It's like mission 40 question mark. Yeah, here we go. I'll go do it on Inferno though.
Bad news. The base is... Monsters have infiltrated the base.
But this mission it ends up being incredibly safe in general. Ooh, that's right. I haven't seen this kind of damage number with this flamethrower yet. This looks weird, dude. Wow. This thing really does hit fast. But it's basically, all the way up until the end, it's just monster eggs. So you're not really in danger at any point. As long as you're like, you know, taking out the eggs one at a time. And then once you beat it the first time, the hardest part is right at the end, and it's the only reason that stops it from being difficult. Oh, that's annoying. Alright. Alright. I always thought that those two looked like they were in the shape of a heart, which I think is kind of interesting. But as you can see, this mission is pretty low danger. It's mostly just walking down a hallway and shooting an egg until it hatches, and then shooting the one monster in it, and then repeating that as many times as you can until the end of the mission. At the very end there is a queen ant. That's probably the only difficult part. We are almost to that part, honestly. There. We'll reload here. We have this room of red ants, and then we have a few golden eggs, and then we have the final boss of the mission. It's really that short, and it ends up being a wonderful Inferno farming spot. I'll just throw out a bunch of those bombs. Start hatching the eggs. I have a feeling this is gonna mess with the frame rate a little like that. I'm gonna blow it up and hope I don't hit myself. Alright, I didn't hit myself. I don't know how big I haven't tested the blast radius on this one really, so it could have been extra large and killed me, but I'm fine. So that one can be a little dangerous approaching. Having a shotgun or having explosives handles that one easily. And then you have 3 golden eggs. Ooh, we got a weapon for that one. And then after these 3 eggs you have the final room. Now the final room is full of eggs and then a golden mother monster. And the way that I do this is I strap the CA-80 bombs, 5 of them into the 5 of them in, or yeah, I just throw 5 of them into the entrance here and then wait for her to line up there. And then you stand back.
How dare you enter our home, you brazen beast!
Did she actually aggro? She might not have aggroed to me, actually, now that I think about it. There we go. And now she'll start moving, and if she moves up to the front door, then you blow her up. Otherwise you just stand back here and then you pick off these golden ants one at a time. Because she causes them to hatch and they'll slowly come to you. It sounds like a lot's going on in there. But it's mainly just her trying to attack you through the wall. She can't get out of that room, is the thing, right? But if she hits you with that spray, it will kill you very quickly. And these golden ants, you gotta be very quick to dispatch them as well, because they will obliterate your health if they get a chance to shoot. Are also incredibly fast bullets that hit incredibly hard. Once the number of golden ants slows down a little coming through the door, my strategy was to kill off your teammates because they ended up pulling her around all funky, making her move weird. Yeah, did you see how fast that thing... I don't even know if you saw the bullets hit me or not, but they sure did. They did half my health. Just under. Yep. It's a little slow. It might feel a little slow at least, but it's definitely worthwhile. Once you have to beat the game on hard, and then you unlock Inferno and hardest. So she's there. We just did 100,000 damage to her. You gotta do that like 2 or 3 times, and then she's dead. Gotta grab that health. And then while you're waiting, if she's over here and you're on cooldown, you do have the option of, if you have a flamethrower, they can sometimes clip her. By the way, I'm gonna change my back to fixed position on my damage numbers. Eventually, yeah, I was gonna say eventually another golden ant will squeeze its way out. Alright, we're gonna stand back a little bit. Because we could die off of that if we're unlucky. There we go. See, like that was another 13,000 damage. Oh, that's why you don't use the flamethrower for the small ones. You might survive, I might not, dude. That's why I wait until like the end to get rid of my teammates. Oh! And just like that, you can die. So you gotta be extra careful, but I was maybe being a little too cautious with me pushing for damage, but that's basically the idea. But if you don't die, you get Inferno level gear that's really high level, such as the level 80 stuff that I'm wearing. And I think with that, I've been streaming for I don't know how long now. Hour and a half. I think I'm gonna stop it there. That's a pretty decent length stream, I think. And it's the first one in a while, so I'm getting back into it, you know. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like and subscribe, etc. All that stuff. It does help. And I had fun streaming it, even though I think I gotta work on my presentation for this pretty much. Be a little better about it, but anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.